Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Solomon here. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic Wednesday. I'm pretty tired today. I woke up extremely early this morning. I did not personally get an invite to Ripple's swell, but I tried paying attention. Most of the news did come out a little bit later this morning, though, so we'll go over that in a bit. I wanted to do something a little bit differently today, though, and kind of touch base on some of these major initiatives that are going on that aren't just blockchain related, but are tied into this entire ecosystem as far as what's occurring from a geopolitical and a global standpoint. You can potentially gather your own assumptions as far as where this all goes. I personally believe that something like a global digital identity is not a good thing, but many of you may feel differently. Many of you may feel like, we need to put the power of our personal data back into our own hands by putting it onto blockchain, et cetera, et cetera. But it's just scary to me, some of these initiatives, personally, in my opinion, and you may feel differently, some of these initiatives that are going on and how this is going to be rolled out. This is your first time watching this channel. Thank you for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you like the video. Subscribe if you feel like seeing more of this information. But we mostly talk about blockchain and digital assets on this channel. Most of the time I talk about the blockchain company Ripple and the digital asset XRP, but I do tend to branch out and talk about more digital assets as well. Today I wanted to talk about Accenture, and I wanted to talk about this ID 2020 initiative. This is about digital identity, and I want you to just watch maybe one or two quick videos that should be a little bit eye-opening for some of you. Maybe you have not seen this. This is digital identity that is going to utilize blockchain and biometrics. Just a quick overview of biometrics. I mean, never cite Wikipedia as a source, but biometrics are body measurements and calculations related to human characteristics. Biometrics authentication is used in computer science as a form of identification and access control. It is also used to identify individuals and groups that are under surveillance. We know the Department of Homeland Security utilizes biometrics. The Department of Justice, the Department of Defense, Department of State, etc. So these videos, though, I do feel like are a little bit eye-opening, and I want to get into them right now. Everyone shall have the right to recognition everywhere as a person before the law. My opinion, very much so. You're going to watch these videos, but my opinion as to why this may be a negative thing is I don't like the idea of everyone globally being tied into one system, because I believe that it's going to be manipulated for control purposes. Now, I do, I'm also invested in digital assets, so it's kind of a contradiction there, right? Because we all want interoperability. We all want everybody tied into this system so the digital assets can flourish and it makes us all a lot of money, right? But let's watch this video real quick. This is the first out of two videos. I'm not going to bore you guys, but I do think this is important because this is what's happening in the world right now. And you look at us sitting at home. What has happened over the course of this pandemic? We have all removed ourselves even further from society. Do you think that the government wants that or does not want that? Do you think that the powers that be want that or do not want that? Do you think that they want us banding together and seeing what's actually going on? Of course, there's an actual sickness, a virus going on. But there are other initiatives going on as well. Never let a good crisis go to waste. And some of these digital initiatives, from everything that I've seen, have accelerated across the board. By the way, this is Accenture. Accenture is one of the largest tech integrators in the world. If you just look at Accenture, I'm sorry to interrupt that. They're a multinational professional services company, Fortune 500. Revenues of $43.2 billion, 492,000 employees, 120 countries they operate in, 150,000 employees. They're the tech integrator for Bank of England and Bank of England's renewed real-time gross settlement system. They're tied in with Google. They're tied in with Swift. They're tied in with everybody. And this is ID 2020. Okay, this is establishing a trusted digital identity with blockchain.
According to Article 6 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, everyone has the right to recognition everywhere as a person before the law. However, 1.2 billion people in the world live without documented proof of their existence. That means they're excluded from modern society and the everyday activities that we take for granted. ID 2020 believes that the future can be different. This public-private partnership is dedicated to solving the challenges related to identity in today's world. To do this, we need to understand what truly defines our identity and how we prove it. We need to appreciate the human at the heart of the challenge. Using innovative technology, we can discover how that identity can be established, trusted, and strengthened over time.
All right, now that sounds fantastic, right? The second video that I'm going to show you is extremely a little bit more concerning from my standpoint. But, you know, tying people into the system, the 1.2 billion, I think they said, of the unbanked or people that are not tied into the current system, you know, that is an issue for those people. They don't have the adequate access to healthcare. They don't have the adequate access to finances. They don't have the opportunity to grow within society. I'm not talking about in the United States. There are unbanked people in the United States. I'm talking about some of these other countries that are a little bit less fortunate that are not tied into the system. Now, that being said, I just want you to watch, like, there's fear mongering that happens in this video. Right after this, you know, I agree with people need tied in, but who's going to be the custodians of this? Blockchain networks, you know, they are infallible from a mathematical standpoint, at least the good ones, but they're not subject to potential attacks. You know, who's to say that that network's not going to be attacked? If a government's put into control of this, it's going to go horribly wrong. So I want you to watch this fear mongering, and then the next video I'm going to show you talks about how this whole system will work via fingerprinting, retina scanning, etc., etc.
I am Sarah. I am a mother.
I am a doctor. I am a soccer fan.
I am Fabiola. I am a student. I am a princess. I am Zhao. I am a scientist.
I am a teacher. I am...
Can you show me some identification?
No, my house was completely destroyed. I just ran.
You will need some ID to cross the border.
I've got nothing on me. What can I do? I'm a father. I'm trying to find my family. Please, I'm scared.
Hi, how can I help you?
My child needs to be vaccinated.
Okay, can I get your name?
I am Nia.
And your date of birth?
I don't know my date of birth. I don't have a birth certificate.
Don't you have any form of ID? I'm sorry, Nia, we need something that proves who you are and where you were born.
Can you please help me? I'm here on holidays, but I've lost my passport and my flight leaves tomorrow.
That will take some time to process.
But I need to get back. Family emergency. What can I do?
Can I get your name?
Can you show me some identification?
Don't you have any form of ID?
So you get the picture on this, okay? And from that standpoint, I mean, it's completely understandable that there needs to be solutions out there. I don't know if global digital identification, at least in my opinion, is the solution, because I don't trust the custodians of, or who are going to be the custodians of this. But this all ties into blockchain. It all ties into Internet of Things. It all ties into biometrics as well. You're going to see how it works. This is combining the power of biometrics and blockchain to provide a global identity solution.
Who are you? This is a question that often comes up in our daily lives. Whether we're boarding a plane, checking our bank balance, or paying a utility bill, we regularly have to prove we are who we say we are. However, more than 1 billion people across the globe cannot prove who they are with any certainty. Many of those have never had a form of verifiable ID to begin with, and more than 15 million were victims of identity theft last year alone. With this in mind, we have developed a unique digital identity prototype to modernise identity management for organisations and individuals. Leveraging the power of blockchain and biometrics, the system makes establishing, tracking, and managing digital identities more efficient, user-friendly, secure, and less open to fraud. Let's follow Joseph as he establishes and builds his identity. At an enrolment station, his biometrics are securely captured through his fingerprints, voice, face, or an iris scan. Then several steps are taken to create a unique identifier using multiple security protocols. This identifier is then recorded on the blockchain, which acts as an index with links to all applicable data. This makes it easy to locate, access, and share information without Yosef's personal data being stored on the blockchain. Using an application on his phone, Yosef creates a personal profile that's multi-factored and authentication secured. The app allows Yosef to generate his own set of public and private keys which he can use to sign the data he sends to others. That way third parties can be absolutely certain the information is his. Yosef shares the public key using a QR code. When he scans this QR code at the enrolment station, an official attestation is added to his profile and signed by...
I think we've seen enough of that. Now, like I said before, I mean, my opinion of this is that it's necessary from a standpoint for those that are unbanked or not tied into the system right now. But it obviously does not stop there. It's a one system type thing. We're all going to be tied into digital identity. We're all going to be tied into everything through our phones. I don't want to necessarily get into the microchipping and stuff like that, you know, but it's a necessary, well, it's not a necessary. It seems to be the progression of where things eventually go. I don't think we're there nearly yet, but from a phone standpoint, we're all going digital. We've been going digital. The past year has made us go digital even further. It's the perfect time to push things out like this. It's the perfect time to push things out like level playing field, from tying people into a system, and everybody's in one system. And they are going to roll out multiple digital currencies from a central banking standpoint. But in my opinion, you know, the curious thing to me and the concerning thing, the concerns that I have on this deal mainly with who deals with custodianship and how do we know that our data is protected? Because our data at this point is not just going to be search results and random passwords to all these different websites, which they are siloed right now. But our data is going to be literally our fingerprints, our retina scans. That's where this goes. And if something gets hacked, we are in a world of trouble. And from a control standpoint, you better believe if governments, they're already watching everything that we do. But, this is just one additional layer to that. I'm just curious to see how this works and integrates with blockchain, because we know that blockchain is most blockchains are supposed to be decentralized. But essentially, they're an open ledger, right? So there needs to be great custodianship of this. If you are not aware, this is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This was put out by the United Nations. I think this was a couple of years ago. Oh, shoot. Hold on. No, that's 10th of December, 1948. I'm thinking of the digital digital declaration that came out. I think it was either through the UN or the European Union. But read the Universal Declaration of Human Rights through the United Nations here. It's directly mentioned on ID 2020. You can also check out ID 2020. This is that alliance that Accenture is a part of. And talking about the need to act fast. I think they're saying like 3 to 5 years. See if I can find it on here. But they do talk, yeah, here we go. The need to act fast. There is an urgent 3 to 5 year window to set the trajectory of digital ID. And ID 2020, you'll see some interesting names here. Accenture, who we talked about. This is the Vaccine Alliance. This is IDEO.org. I'm not familiar with them. We all know Microsoft. Pretty sure we all know the Rockefellers as well. So these are the individuals tied in, the founding partners of ID 2020. So just think about if the Rockefellers have been the most morally steady individuals throughout history. Now, ID 2020 as well. This is just a little bit of a brief overview here. But what's interesting is some of the articles that they reference right on their website. Immunity certificates. If we must have them, we must do it right. Can blockchain finally give us the digital privacy we deserve? Maybe. But I do think that digital ID and tying into a system and the right to own our own data is very important. Like for me, for example, I do a lot of research. I try to do content creation for digital assets. I do things on YouTube, etc. for me to inherently own that, there's going to be multiple platforms that are going to be rolled out on a mass scale that are going to provide content creators the ability to fully capitalize on what they're producing, because these platforms take a lot of that profit away from what these content creators are actually doing. And it's just interesting, like how like Facebook technically like owns like a lot of your data. And I do think that if that problem can be solved, that's a fantastic thing. So we'll see where this goes, though. But I mean, this is establishing identity is vital. All right, now I hope you guys found that interesting, a little bit something different here. If you want to check it out, just go to Accenture. You have to scroll down because their main website is revamped now, which is Let There Be Change, which is kind of like the same thing that we've been seeing across the board here with all of these large institutions. But if you scroll down far enough, it talks about actions towards green cloud, all this other stuff here. You can actually go into some of the insights and check out like blockchain, the cloud. It talks about the pandemic, cybersecurity, and right under blockchain is where that ID 2020 is, in case you're curious or you want to go research that for yourself. But it's coming. This is One World, One Key, the growing urgency for a common digital ID. It talks about human beings essentially having to authenticate themselves for all these different applications, all their banking institutions, because we're using our phones for almost everything at this point, or our laptops or computers or whatever. This is talking essentially about tying everything into one system, and you just have a digital ID, and there's a way to verify that almost instantaneously. So whatever your opinion is, positive or negative, I think it's an interesting topic. So I'm glad I could have shared it with you, and you should definitely do more research on it if you feel the need to. Now, I want to get a little bit into Ripple here. Like I said, I did not attend Swell, but we're going to go over that in a second. Cambridge Global Payments and Ripple partnership goes live. This is today, okay? Now, Cambridge is a FleetCor company. I believe Cambridge was acquired by FleetCor. Cambridge, I think, processed it. I think it's $20 billion on a yearly basis by the time that they were acquired by FleetCor. Now, we do know that they're saying that RippleNet is going to be utilized to speed cross-border payments. Interestingly enough, in 2018, Cambridge directly trialed XRP. Under the agreement with Ripple, XRP is a digital asset for those of you, probably a few of you just watching for the first time. Cambridge will pilot the use of XRP, the native digital asset of the XRP ledger, and payment flows through XRapid, Ripple's solution for on-demand liquidity. So, and this is going to be tied in with, it talks about the pilot phase in here, and I'm sure that at some point that this is going to have to do with XRP. So that hopefully will create some more opportunity for a little bit more volume on the XRPL and directly flowing through XRP on Ledger as well. Now, there were a couple of things interesting today that I did see. Like I said, I woke up early this morning, so I'm pretty tired. I woke up at like 4 or 3:30 this morning. Didn't catch anything. I started seeing things, probably around 8:30, 9 a.m. While I was at work. But Bank of America, Danger Mouse, I actually gave him a follow. He was the one that originally shared this. This is Annette opens Bank of America's mobile application and selects how much money to send. This is directly on, I guess, RippleNet's demo from Swell. And we can see right down here, Bank of America, sorry for the blurriness, directly says integrated into RippleNet. I have never been surprised. I've been confident that Bank of America has been a partner for quite a while now with Ripple, but it's nice to see them in the RippleNet demo. That's my opinion on that. Now, I will recommend, if you do want to check a recap of Swell, somebody that will get into it a little bit more deeply for you is Crypto Eddie, and she gives a recap of Swell highlights from day one. I watched some of it at work. I have to finish watching the video today. I do know that I'll call them Sieg. I'm probably mispronouncing that. But Sieg is I believe they're a remittance and a payments company. They run on Ripple now, and they're utilizing XRP, which is very, very interesting. They provided an on-demand liquidity revised model as well for XRP. And I did find a comment from Lionel here that I guess some clients were not happy with the lack of corridors available or ODL partners. Now, I want to see some sort of actual press release with this. Now, Lionel is a very conservative guy whenever it comes to speaking about XRP news. So I would trust what he's saying. If he said this, I'm sure that it was mentioned. I just don't know within the context in which it was mentioned. But we all do know that they scaled back on on-demand liquidity. So potentially this has to deal with this as well. And on this channel, I always try to present the positives and the negatives as to the best of my capabilities. Again, I was not at Swell. I woke up early trying to catch some news and present it to you guys and maybe do a video before work today, but it just did not shake out that way. I recommend checking out Crypto Eddie's YouTube, though, because I know she did a video, a recap today, and I'm sure we will hear some more news tomorrow. But check out global ID and digital ID and biometrics and blockchain and digital assets. And if you really take a step back, if you look at all these things as like individual trees in a forest, right? They all seem, they seem like they're semi-connected, maybe, but not to the point where if you actually step back and understand where this all goes, I see, all these, there's people that comment on my channel sometimes with like, I don't want to say conspiracy, but like wording that talks about global currency and like almost like the apocalypse. And I'm not knocking them for that view whatsoever. But it's not, in my opinion, going to be like a one global currency. I did a video on that yesterday. But I do believe that this digitization is an entirely new world system that's coming about. And it's not just crypto. Crypto plays a major part in it. I don't consider central bank digital currencies crypto per se, but that plays a part in it. Blockchain and DLT plays a part in it. Biometrics plays a part in it. Digital ID tying us all into one system for sure plays a part in it. Internet of Things. If you think the powers that be want us out there, doing whatever we're doing, and this doesn't even need to be tinfoil hatty, they would rather have us sitting on our couches, ordering online and consuming, because that's what they want us to do. They want us to consume, right? And we've been buying right into it. We've been consuming nonstop. And this year, more so than ever, we've been consuming. Look at what these online commerce and everything else, I'm sure, has skyrocketed this year. And the removal from like the reality of, actual human contact has skyrocketed. So we're all segregated on our phones and on our laptops and everything else. And it's the perfect opportunity to roll stuff out like this. And you don't have to believe me if you don't want to believe me. I sound like a crazy person right now, but every one of these large institutions globally is doing this. The Rockefeller Foundation is arguably the most powerful family in the world, top 3, top 5. So I hope you guys all have a great rest of your evening. I will be away tomorrow, and I won't be back until Sunday. If there's groundbreaking news before I leave tomorrow, I will definitely present it. But again, if you're interested in Swell or whatever, check out Crypto Eddie's channel. She will be presenting on that. So I hope you guys all have a great evening, great morning, great afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you're at in the world right now. And I will talk to you when I talk to you. Later.